I call that video that we just played, that presentation, in my world, I call it 30 days of magic. That if you dare to implement, to put into practice, to effectuate all that Earl was just now talking about, your life will change. You do this test, you do this run only if and when you are ready to commit to it. But I promise you, because I did it. I remember back in the day when I got into the financial services business, I listened to Earl Nightingale's 30 Days of Magic. I ended up becoming the rookie, the number one producer. I decided to go out and to be the best of me. Every bad habit, I decided to be one times better. Just making these changes, 30 days of magic. It's not too late. It's not too late. It is not too late. We are all here on the Momentum Morning Show because we share certain things in common. We don't want to be average. And certainly we all want to leave a legacy. That's why we're here. We have become obsessed with these wonderful products called the absolute products in Atomy. We know they are good. We know it's a righteous compensation plan. We love what we do, and we want to move the needle. It calls for commitment. So to Valderine and Sylvia, I know, and Star Master Carly, Rochelle and Rose and Odie.
Thank you, sir. This is a Saint Master here. But thank you for this Star Master. This coming.
You know, you are absolutely, listen, this is where we really pour out one to another. It's a lot of caring. Momentum is for real, novelty is for real, Nick is for real. All of us, as we gather, we want to get in momentum, stay in momentum. That's why we do this. Is so important. I just want to take a moment, pause for the cause. Whether you are new to this Momentum Morning Show or no, I just want to say good morning to Ode, to Mariah, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, to Greta and to Florence and to Ruth and to everyone on the call this morning. 30 days of magic. Do it. I urge all of us to find that energy, that motivation, that will to embark on a 30 days of magic run and see how it will transform and absolutely catapult you into a new stratosphere. So, with that said, we must say our little pledge because it means something. So, quickly, I'll just ask us all to unmute and we will say the pledge on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Cherish the spirit,
The spirit,
the vision,
follow the faith,
the faith, serve
Serve
in
with humility.
Aja, Aja, Aja.
Okay. So Navlet, that's all for me for this morning, at least for now. If there's anyone that is new on the call, we want to welcome you. We would like you, if you don't mind, to unmute and to introduce yourself. Tell us your name, who invited you. We really want to welcome you this morning. Over to you now, Pledge.
Oh.
Okay, great. And I guess, was there any feedback on that video courtesy of Mr. CJ this morning? If not,
Yes, Miss Knowledge.
what?
30 days of magic.
Mhm.
Yes, I think in the first statement, Earl said something about we have to pay a price. And this is really a fact. If we want to achieve, we have to pay a price. We have to spread our wings. We have to stretch our imaginations, let it run wild in a positive way. We have so many good ideas, but we never really let them, oh dear, we never achieve them because we didn't put in enough effort. And there are, in addition to the effort that we didn't put in, there are doubts. We have doubts. We have fears. And sometimes we procrastinate, among other factors. But, and we say this so many times, we want to get there. We want to get there. But we don't do the things that we are supposed to be doing in order to get there. Let me say this, and I'm really personal this time. I'm talking about me. There are times when I doubt myself so much. And then last night I went to bed, well, like this morning, 2 o'clock, because I have to make a change. I need to be transformed. And a lot of thoughts came to my mind. And I did a lot of research. And I realized that my doubt, there's a doubt within me that prevents me from winning. And this doubt is a traitor. And I'm not going to allow it to get the better of me. And I'm saying that today is June 13, 2025. And I've made a pledge, and that at the end of 30 days, starting from today, I promise that I will bring you some good news. I look deep into myself, my inner self, and discovered that I'm dragging my feet. I did tell already. I have fallen down on my face several times. I got up and I made it. It is happening now. We have fallen down, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to make it. And
Well said.
oh, I can do much better than I'm doing. So I'm going to do it by God being my keeper. I ask of us that we support each other as much as we can. And I'm going to end by saying we are the captain of our ships. So we are to ensure that we land safely. Thank you for listening.
I like that part, landed safely. And you know what will help too, Miss Sylvia? That's why, you always hear all those great ones that's gone before us. Affirmation is very big because affirmation helps. The more we say it, it helps to transform our mind, get rid of the negative thinking and all that you just mentioned. So get some morning affirmations going. Yeah. Affirmation. So let me look before I go forward. All right. This morning, I figured we will start with why we need water. Because too many times I notice we're not getting in enough water in our bodies. And this gentleman is talking about just a 3-day fast and the benefits, what it does for the body. And you'll be amazed how it's going to revolutionize your health just as he goes through the steps, and why it is so important to do some type of fasting from food. So let me play.
What happens if you go without food for 3 days? Look, this is gonna shock you, but I'm gonna show you a timeline of exactly what happens inside of your body when you go 3 days without food. Gotta say, your doctor will never tell you this. You're gonna be seeing here an animation of exactly what's happening inside of your body during the 3 days. Let's start with the first 14 hours. And by the way, stick around, because once we get to that 3-day mark, you will not believe what happens at the 72-hour mark of a fast. It's absolutely shocking and unbelievable. And at the end of the video, I'll address what to consume during the fast, which liquids, supplements, who should not do this fast, how to work your way to this fast, and how to break this fast. Now let's jump into the timeline. As you can see here, the first 14 hours of this fast, you're gonna notice two amazing things happen. The first thing is that you're gonna lower the hormone insulin, which means you're gonna look lighter, feel lighter, you're gonna have more energy levels. It's important to understand this. If you wanna burn fat, and I'm talking about that stubborn belly fat, we need to lower the hormone insulin. Insulin is the key that unlocks fat burning. And when you are 14 hours into a fast, every hour now, you're going to lower that hormone insulin, where you start tapping into stored body fat and shedding excess body weight, so you look less bloated and feel less bloated as well. As insulin begins to fall, your body's gonna start tapping into your sugar reserve system. This is called your glycogen stores, and it's simply a mechanism to store calories in your liver and muscle cells. So 10 hours in, 12 hours in, 14 hours in, you start to deplete these sugar reserves, and that's really important if you're looking to melt fat. At the 14-hour mark, those sugar reserves are going to be very low, which then switches the metabolism to burn stored fat. Think of your sugar reserves as your refrigerator. Easy access, you put groceries in, take groceries out, but the goal is to get to your fat stores, which is going to be the freezers inside of your basement. In order to get to the freezers inside of your basement, which is your body fat, you need to go through your refrigerator, your sugar reserves. At the 14-hour mark, you deplete that. There's a second thing happening here at the 14-hour mark. You complete digestion. This is key because you're gonna notice a huge increase in your energy levels and focus. That is because it takes a lot of energy for your body to process a meal, to digest food. And it takes about 14 hours to complete that digestion. So now you have a process, this is one of my favorite benefits to fasting, called energy diversion. You now divert energy away from digestion at this 14-hour mark because you're completing digestion, and that energy is being diverted to healing the body. Blood flow back to the brain, pulling fat from your liver, pulling fat from your body fat. This is happening around the 14-hour mark, and it's pretty remarkable. Now, as fat burning starts to kick in, let's get into what happens around the 16 to 17-hour mark of this 3-day fast. At this point of the fast, your metabolism turns on a process called autophagy. This is one of the coolest things that happens inside of your body. Autophagy is this cellular cleanup process. You see, you have cells in your body that are not working well right now. They're toxic. They're not burning fat very efficiently. They actually could lead to cancerous cells and autoimmune cells. Autophagy is that process of cleaning out the junk. Think of it this way. Let's say you work full-time, a 9-to-5 job. You barely have much free time on your hands. And your house is starting to become dirty. Your garage is starting to fill up with all this trash, collecting dust. You just don't have the time to clean it out. But let's say your boss gives you 2 weeks off vacation, full pay. Now you have all this time in your hands. What are you gonna do? You're gonna start cleaning up the house, going into the garage, throwing out the junk. This is exactly what your metabolism does, this innate intelligence within your body during a fast. You're not using all of your energy and time for digestion. You're now using it to throw out the trash, clean out the junk. So you literally have a process called autophagy, which is eat thyself. It's like Pac-Man seeking out these damaged cells, mitochondria, these little energy battery packs within your cells, cleaning out the junk, repairing it, so you could burn fat more efficiently, lower inflammation, and prevent serious diseases in the future. So this prevents diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia. It repairs your mitochondria, so it helps these little energy battery packs produce more energy. And guess what? All of this is getting ramped up during 16 to 17 hours of this 3-day fast. Autophagy is the ultimate anti-aging biohack. And the longer you go into this fast, every hour, the more autophagy you get. Super cool. Now let's move on to the 24-hour mark of this fast. There are two really incredible things that happen once you hit 24 hours without food. The first amazing thing that happens at the 24-hour mark is that you get an intestinal stem cell reboot. Okay, what does that mean? A lot of you watching or listening might be struggling with gas, bloating, acid reflux, GERD, digestive issues, and even more severe issues like autoimmune. Well, studies are showing at the 24-hour mark of a fast, you completely start to reset your digestive system. So you get these intestinal stem cells that are now being increased and healing your body. So you're able to digest food better when you do eat, which helps you have more energy and helps with fat loss. Now, the second amazing thing happening at the 24-hour mark is this: a surge in human growth hormone. Now, human growth hormone is a powerful fat-burning hormone, anti-aging hormone. Celebrities pay thousands of dollars every month for their doctor to inject them with human growth hormone. Now, there are side effects to that and it costs a lot of money, but guess what? Studies are showing that when you hit 24 hours without food, there is a surge in human growth hormone. You can see on the screen here, this study is showing that at the 24-hour mark of a fast, there's a 2,000% increase in human growth hormone in men and a 1,300% increase in human growth hormone in women. This is the ultimate hormone to shed excess fat, and it ramps up pretty dramatically just going 24 hours without food. Now let's get into the 30-hour mark of your timeline here. Here's where things go to the next level. There's a surge in this brain fertilizer, this miracle grow for the brain called BDNF, which stands for brain-derived neurotropic factor. All you need to know about BDNF is that the more your body is producing, the more your brain is producing, the more focused, energized, and creative you are. It's actually kind of a spiritual experience. It makes me think why every religion practices some form of fasting. It connects you with your higher self. It helps you stay focused and alert. Here's why the body's doing it, by the way. We're hardwired for the old school, meaning the metabolism, the inner physician, the innate intelligence doesn't understand that you're doing this 3-day fast because you're looking for benefits. It thinks you're going through a famine. It doesn't understand that you could go to your fridge and grab food, or click on your phone and order Uber Eats or DoorDash and have somebody knock on your door in 30 minutes with food. It doesn't get that. We're hardwired for the old school. So it flips on this process called BDNF production. It's the body's way of giving you energy, focus, and creativity so you could go out there and hunt and kill in order to stay alive. Well, thankfully, we don't have to do that. We could use all that energy, all the resources to feel amazing, to crush a workout, to be there with your full personality and energy levels for your family, for your work. I'm always fasted, and I hit this BDNF fasting mark when I have my most challenging day in terms of mental bandwidth, when I speak on stages, when I'm doing podcast interviews, because it feels like a superpower. Brain fog disappears. Memory, focus, and mood improves. You actually learn things faster, and it feels like a spiritual reset. Now let's move on to the 36-hour mark of your fast. This is the ultimate fat-burning part of your 3-day fast. At this point, fat burning goes on full blast. Insulin is at rock bottom levels. You're just burning stored fat for energy. And here's what happens. This is super cool. The fat you're using for energy, meaning your stomach, your love handles, your hips, your body fat, that is being sent to your liver for energy. Your liver uses that and produces ketones. Now, you've probably heard of the keto diet. Keto is not even technically a diet, it's a metabolic process. And those ketones not only fuel the brain, it fuels your metabolism and it increases fat loss. It does this twofold. Number one, of course, the insulin effect by lowering insulin. That's how you produce ketones. Number two, those ketones, this is crazy, actually help your cells produce 400% more energy, and it lowers inflammation at the same time. With that energy increase, At the 36-hour mark from ketones, it increases your basal metabolic rate, which is your metabolism's ability to burn calories just sitting on the couch without having to exercise. This is dramatically getting increased at the 36-hour mark. Many people might lose 5 to 10 pounds already at this 36-hour mark. You have more mental clarity, more energy, you feel leaner and look lighter as well. It's absolutely incredible, this magic part of the fast, 36 hours. Now we need to move on to what happens next as we shift into 48 hours, which is 2 days without food. At this point in the fast, there's a complete dopamine reset. Look, we live in a world where most people are what's called dopamine resistant. You've probably heard of insulin resistance, where your metabolism has a hard time getting insulin into the cell, so you have to produce more insulin to get the same effect. This is very similar with dopamine. Dopamine is a hormone, a neurochemical, that helps you feel happy, calm, grateful. It improves your entire life in terms of your relationships. And a lot of people are unhappy, they're bitter, they're miserable because they have dopamine resistance from all the food we eat that's processed, from scrolling on our phone, social media. By the way, scrolling on your phone and getting those dopamine hits, there's a study that shows the average person scrolls on their phone enough times with their fingers to climb the Empire State Building. No wonder why we're not happy. No wonder why we need more sugar, more drugs and stimulants, and more social media to get the same effect. Well, enter this 48-hour fast. This is absolutely incredible, but studies are showing that once you hit 48 hours without food, you reset the D2 receptor sites in your brain, the dopamine receptor sites in your brain, where you experience a natural mood boost, and now you're happier, you're more grateful, which leads to lowering inflammation. Your cravings for junk food and social media and maybe even drugs and other addictions start to decrease. People report at the 48-hour mark, I feel happier, I feel more motivated and inspired. That's because your brain isn't being hijacked by dopamine hits anymore. It's pretty remarkable. Now we need to get to the completion of the fast, the 72-hour mark, which is, you're gonna be shocked what happens next. Hey, before I share that and get into some common questions here, I wanna let you know I have a brand new book coming out called Metabolic Freedom. And chapter 8 of this book is all about using fasting to tap into stored body fat. I show you the science, I show you how to use it the right way, and I also want to give you a free course on the metabolism, which does have lessons on fasting and keto and other fat loss tips, along with exclusive interviews. You can get all that for free when you order the book today over at metabolicfreedombook.com. Go get the free bonuses, go get the pre-order. We'll drop a link down below, or you could scan the QR code on the screen. All right, let's get into the 3-day part of the fast, the 72-hour mark, which something remarkable happens next. Congratulations, by the way, you made it to 72 hours. What's happening here? Real incredible processes are occurring. So at the 72-hour mark of this fast, your body undergoes a full immune system reset. Yeah, you heard that right. You completely regenerate your entire immune system. This is not just theory, by the way. A 2014 study published showed that prolonged fasting cycles can trigger stem cell-based regeneration of the immune system. And in 2018, it found that fasting for 3 days can regenerate the entire immune system. What exactly does that mean? Well, as I mentioned with the autophagy, you have cells in your body that are old, weak, and inflamed, especially in your immune system. These cells, once they lose function, are called zombie cells. In other words, the scientific term is senescent cells, but we'll call them zombie cells. When you have a lot of zombie cells, they actually infect other cells around them, turning them into this zombie status. This leads to autoimmune disease, increase in cancer, heart disease. Essentially, it ages you pretty rapidly. They're called immunosenescent cells. Well, what if there was a way to completely get rid of those zombie cells and produce fresh stem cells? Stem cells in the anti-aging space is all the rave these days. People are spending $20,000, $30,000 on a stem cell treatment, which has amazing validity, but you could actually get a stem cell surge at the 72-hour mark of this fast because your metabolism is so smart. It goes through that autophagy process every hour after the 16 to 17-hour mark. It's ramped up. But if the metabolism and inner physician has determined this cell has no function, it's a zombie cell, it's a senescent cell, there's an amazing thing that happens at the 72-hour mark where it creates programmed cell death, apoptosis. Essentially, check this out. It's like zapping a cell, a zombie cell, and getting rid of it altogether. Stop infecting the body, stop functioning or stop living in the body without function. But then it goes a step farther where it gets rid of the cell and produces a stem cell. And that stem cell could be for your immune system, it could be for the brain, it could be for the heart, for the liver. Your body is so freaking smart, it'll send those stem cells wherever your body needs it. One of the things you might notice at the 72-hour mark of a fast is some pain in your body. Okay, that might sound like a bad thing, but if you've ever had an old injury, like a weak knee or a banged up knee, or for me, for example, lower back issues, you might experience some mild pain in that area during the 72-hour mark. This is your body's way of healing that area. I remember when I first did my 3-day fast, I was getting this lower back pain, and I was wondering, where is this coming from? It was my body's way of healing that area, autophagy, apoptosis, stem cell production. This is super cool. Now, before I address the common questions here, like who should not do this fast, how to build up to the fast, what can you have during a fast, let me know in the comment section for those watching on YouTube, have you ever done a 3-day fast? And if not, are you inspired to do so after watching or listening to this? Let's get to the common questions. This is a very important question right off the bat. How do you build up to a fast like this, a 3-day fast? Well, you got to understand that fasting is a muscle. If you've never even done a 16-hour fast or a 24-hour fast, I don't recommend going right into a 3-day fast without food. It will be too much for your body to adapt to. So start building up the fasting window. Start with 12 hours. If you're so new and brand new to this fasting routine, 12-hour fast. Done eating at 7 p.m., go to bed, eat your first meal at 7 a.m., 12 hours, and kind of build from there. But there's another thing you want to do. You want to get your body fat adapted, meaning instead of burning sugar, which most people do, and going into a long fast, it's going to be tough. But burning fat before you go into the fast, that is the key to get all these amazing benefits. And I don't have time to show you how to burn fat before you go into a fast, but I put together a simple guide in my Burn Fat ebook, which shows you in 3 simple steps how to burn fat instead of sugar. And then you do that, then you complete this fast, you'll get all of those amazing benefits. So you can actually download that guide for free.
Okay. So I know I initially said water, but that was my original intent. And then I came up on this video and I said, let me share this video. So hopefully after watching this, everyone will choose to do a 3-day fast at least once a month. It does wonders for the body. Your body will truly, truly, truly appreciate it, because we've been programmed in this country to eat 3 meals a day and snack in between, and it is so detrimental for our health. But as you can see, all the benefits here of not putting in so much food in your body, giving your body time to rest so that it can do the work that it was created to do when we rest, where your body's not constantly processing food, trying to break the food down and all that. Just give it some time to just complete the entire process that it was created to do. And as you can see, even with fatty liver, so many individuals are coming down with fatty liver, all these autoimmune disease, and the whole list that he just shared there. Just doing just a 3-day fast. And of course, if you've never done a fast, as he mentioned, you do the overnight where you stop eating at 7 and you don't eat again until 7 in the morning. And we have done that when we have to go do blood work. So if you can do that when it comes to going to do a blood work, you can do it. And then that's your first stage of fasting. Then you can say, okay, let me go a whole day or maybe until 3, and then you slowly extend it and just get your body acclimated to it, and you keep going. Of course, you're gonna most definitely want to put water in while you're doing that, or some coconut water to get your electrolytes, and go from there. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Has anyone here ever done a 3-day fast?
Yes, I have done 40 days.
How many?
40 days.
Oh, wow. You're way ahead of me. I've never gone that far. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
A whole 40 days. Wow. But I do hear once you get past a certain amount of days, you're not really feeling as hungry anymore. I guess, you know, your body.
No, after day 3, you're not hungry anymore.
Wow. Yeah, I've never done a 40 days. I don't know if I'll ever get to that, but that's great.
I did too. 40 days.
Oh, wow.
At least 3 times in my
Three
life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll be brave enough to do that. Yeah. Wow. I'll post the video, Miss Veronica. Yeah, I've never pushed it that far. Mm.
Mm.
Hello.
When
Yeah,
you aging,
I
I
commend
did.
all you 40-day fast people. I commend you on that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying to do 40, you gotta be really prepared for that.
Yes.
If you are diabetic, you cannot do that. The good
Mm-mm.
thing for diabetic is the one for the night. So you stop eating from 7 to 7 in the morning, or like you said, when we go in for blood work, we do that. Usually myself, I stop at 10 to 10. So that's really work. But to go further than 3 days, you have to be really prepared for that.
Yeah.
Yes, it takes a lot of prayer to sustain you. And once you're in prayer during that period of time, the days fly by and you don't even realize that you've done it. Prayer is the key.
yes, that's true. Every time I do it, I'm on prayer or November 40 days.
Mhm.
And the first days are really difficult, but then you feel like very light. You feel even your mind, you know. But now it's more difficult. I don't know. Because I used to do it when I was younger and in my 70s, 60s, 60s, 68. But now it's more difficult for me to do that.
Yeah, if you haven't done, if you stop, because once your body gets used to it, it's normal for you to continue. But if you have stopped it and now you're getting back on, it's like starting over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even don't now. I try to do 2 days, one day, 24 hours, but I can't go more further.
Yeah.
But I will do it. And the
So,
best time is in bed because what this time you have, is a prayer time, is a reflection time.
mhm.
And this year, I didn't succeed, but in the beginning, I did it. I started then. I was like, okay, I didn't continue.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep going. Do one day, then two.
Yeah.
Yeah. 40 days. No, I've not
But
done that journey.
usually, and this is the best one,
Mhm.
do it twice a day or twice a week. So every Wednesday, I do it, and Fridays.
I know CJ does one on Thursdays. I don't, CJ, how long is yours? Thursday, Friday?
Every Thursday. Yeah, so that's why sometimes at 11 I just have to jump off to meet up with others who do it alongside people every Thursday. Sometimes it's a Thursday into a Friday, and there there are certain times when it will be a whole entire weekend. Uh, I had a very interesting moment this past Easter when I decided to let me die and literally kill my just do a death experience and have a resurrection. And I'll tell you now that spiritually and physically in every way it really was a resurrection experience. It's a great thing.
Mm.
If and all the sometimes we have some issues going on in the body, inflammation issues, whatever. Just 3 days without a meal and hydration, you can't imagine the wonderful healing effect it has on the body,
Oh yeah.
spiritually and physically. So I encourage everyone to, if you have not, um, if you don't have a fasting lifestyle, yeah, it's all healthy. A lot of benefit to be derived from fasting. Oh yeah.
May I?
Go ahead, Miss Sylvia.
I have never fasted in all my life. So I don't know if this is a coincidence, but the other day some friends and I were talking about fasting, and I said I've never done it. And then I plan to with them. And here we are now. You have played this clip about fasting. You know what I love in this talk or this clip that you played when the guy said it takes so much energy for us to climb the Empire State Building. We use our fingers and we have gotten there. So why can't we fast? You know. So I'm going to empower myself. And as I said this morning, I've made a pledge. I know I can't start today. Tomorrow, all being well, I'm going to start. And I'm going to make it my duty to do the fasting. I'm not sure about it 3 days. 3 days.
Oh no, I wouldn't suggest you go 3 days
Yes,
cold turkey when you've never fasted before.
exactly. So definitely I am going to start tomorrow, all being well. Just keep
Start
me
with,
in your prayers, please.
you can train your body with, starting like at 7 p.m. in the evening
Uh-huh.
until the next morning. And then you can say, okay, now I can do a whole day. But you have to break yourself in.
Yes, that I understand
It's not
because
to go cold
I
turkey.
was asking the question, but then he answered it, so I'm fine.
Oh, Miss Veronica, I post the link in the chat because you asked for it, so it's in the chat here. And I also posted in the Momentum Morning group as well. For anyone,
Okay, good.
but
Great.
I recommend everyone trying this fast because it does so much for your health, as you heard in there. And then, yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And then, of course, where he mentioned about when you're breaking the fast, soup is great because you went ahead and you did a 3-day fast or a 4-day or whatever. Remember, as you stop eating, this is the great thing about fasting. We eat so much here in the US. When you go to other countries, you don't get that much food piled up in your plate. Well, in the Caribbean, they do. But anyway, but growing up, we didn't eat as much food as you see on
Ah,
here. My mom never did that. Now, when you're breaking that fast, if you did a 3-day or a 4-day or whatever, as you consume less food, the size of your stomach is shrinking. Basically, it's going to go back to where it's supposed to be because they said the size of your stomach is supposed to be the size of your fist. Now, if the actual size of our stomach is the size of our fist, and we look at the amount of food that we put on our plate for one meal, that's not the size of our fist. So we're consuming way more food than the size of our stomach is actually supposed to be. So we're expanding our stomach. So that's also great when it comes to fasting because as you eat less and less, your stomach is shrinking back to the actual size. So that's why you have to slowly put nourishing food back in, like light stuff like soup or porridge, things that are not heavy, because your body will not be able to receive it. So if you're going to do a fast, you have to prepare yourself and know you have your soup and not the canned stuff. Because you want to make sure you're putting in healthy homemade food back into your body now to build the nutrients back up. So I wanted to touch on that. So yeah.
Miss Brian.
Yes.
Is very true. I don't know if I forgot her name, the person who just talked. Myself, I believe Sunday is the best for me to fast, because when you finish that 7 eating tomorrow morning, if you go to church, I'm telling you, very busy, very busy, and then you don't feel hungry. And then after church, you can have. But the soup, you can have broth also. Those bones, you don't put nothing, no potato. You put vegetable and bones. I'm telling you, that help a lot. And then even for bloating, that help. That's what I do. That's mean every week either soup, I am Haitian. We have that pumpkin soup. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, you can do pumpkin soup because I'm from Jamaica. We basically do the same thing. You can do your pumpkin soup. You can even do like with a lot of like spinach and what you throw in those things in there that's not heavy and just make it healthy. Your chicken soup or whatever. And you're not going to put, because typically like us from Jamaica, when we make soup, we have like yam and cocoa and stuff in there. But when you're going to do it after a fast, you don't want to put any of that in there. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that so we can get our health together. Fasting is a big thing in staying healthy. It truly is. And it's also a big part of restoration. So just slowly incorporate it. All righty. So it's Freestyle Friday. Anything else we wanted to touch on? Did you get that link, Miss
Just going to share the.
Miss Veronica, you got the link?
Yes, we got it.
Okay, good, great. Okay, Mr. CJ.
I don't know how many of us on the call have ever been to Cuba. They have a great healthcare system. But the remarkable thing about Cubans, you'll never find an obese person in Cuba. Perhaps it's because out of the revolution, there was a lot of rationing, and the culture of rationing continues in that country. But you will never find an obese person. Everyone is trim and slim. They don't overeat. They don't have the luxury of having food like that. And the folks in that country, they are so healthy.
But you know what's the unfortunate thing in? Most countries, you do not see a lot of overweight people. But here in America, it's the norm.
Only in America.
Yes. We have so much food. And unfortunately, most of the food that's been marketed to us is not good for your health. Those foods killing us. And most people are not cooking at home. They're buying breakfast, lunch, dinner, in between, out all the time. That stuff is killing us. But if you look at most countries, you do not see a lot of overweight people. But you see it here every place you go. So we just have to be mindful and, hopefully everyone will decide to say, hey, I'm going to start doing this fasting thing at least once a month. You're going to be pleasantly surprised when it comes to your health.
Novelet. I find another thing, that's true, we don't do it here. But in Europe, France mostly, they have a diet which is like, if you follow it, you will never have more pounds over, because every day they do that. For breakfast, they have breakfast, and at lunch they have like variation of food.
Mm-hmm.
They start with vegetable. We call it entree. Then
Mm-hmm.
the main food, and everything is light, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And at night, for dinner, we make soup before eating
Mm-hmm.
and a light meal. And then, no, at lunch, I forgot. We always have like fruit and cheese at the end. And I've tried it
Oh,
every
wait,
time.
hold on. Let me touch on the cheese. It is not the cheese we get here in America.
Yeah, that's true.
Talking about the real cheese.
Hmm.
All right, continue. Go ahead, Mr. Rose, continue.
So all my youth till I was 50, I had the same weight. It's when I came here that I changed, it changed. But I tried to keep it for a while, and
Mhm.
then it was a yo-yo up and down, and now it's all over. But it's not easy to do that. I try. So now what I'm trying is that I do like with how do you call it? I eat earlier in the afternoon. No, I mean I eat by 5, 7. Then my next lunch will be maybe at 12,
Mhm.
and this is a period I've tried to eat, but I haven't got anywhere. But kind of, my weight is always like over. So I'm going to try the 3 days now because I've been fighting about my weight for
Mhm.
about 2 years.
Do you walk? Do you walk, Miss Rose?
I know, so
Oh,
I
you
don't
gotta
walk.
start walking. You will drop
I Oh yes, I walk in the
sugar.
morning, but I don't do too much.
Oh no.
I
Mm-mm.
don't do much.
If you want to lose weight, I told my daughter I was going to speak on this morning. There is a young lady here in my community.
Mm-hmm.
Spoke about her, I think last summer. Sometime, yeah, spoke about her before. She was about 300 pounds.
Wow.
She walks every day. She started last summer, and I was like, oh my gosh. When I first saw her, I'm cheering her on without her knowing. Every day I see her, I'm cheering her on because I know she's trying. Because even in the heat of the summer, she's out there. She walked 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening.
Wow.
Guys, if you see her now, I saw her yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it was the same person. She lost so much weight just
Mm.
from walking every single day. Even when it was raining out there, she had that raincoat on. She was determined to lose the weight because my daughter speaks with her and she's got health challenges. And she said, I am not going to have these doctors put me on all these prescription drugs. She did her research and she decided, I am going to walk this off. And I'm telling you, when I saw her yesterday, because I said, I'm not going to drive to the store. I'm going to walk because Publix is not far from me. And I always jump in the car and drive. And yesterday I said, I'm walking. So I walked there and on my way back, I saw her. I didn't say anything to her because she doesn't like when people really talk to her much about it. So I just saw her and I'm like, wow, she looked great. She lost so much weight just from walking, guys. I'm telling you, you can walk your way to better health. You just have to really be consistent with it. And she's not doing the power walking. When I go out, I power walk. She's not power walking, but she's out there walking. She's walking as fast as she can with her weight. And I'm telling you, she looks so good. I just couldn't stop talking about it when I came. I was telling my dad, oh my gosh, I saw her. And I'm just cheering her on. I'm like her biggest cheerleader in this community. So start walking. Walk in the morning, walk in the evening, and just keep going, and you're gonna see the difference. And get your water, because one thing with her, she always had her bottle of water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's not about spending all that money going to the gym. You can lose that weight from walking it off. So yeah, that's why I'm proud to say I stick to my Jamaican diet. I just stick with it. You know, every now and then I'll eat outside of it, but my daughter, you know, she was born here, so she likes her different things. So I entertain it. But if it was up to me, I stick to my Caribbean diet. Yeah.
It's the best.
Mm-hmm. I have nothing to complain about. I've maintained my weight because I've seen too many people that I know that came here and they start doing the standard American diet and they no longer look the same. They have so much weight on them and they're like, oh, you're still so skinny. You stay the same. Yeah. And sometimes people try to make you feel bad. Oh, you need to put some meat on your bone. No, I'm happy. I'm very happy with myself. So I don't care what they say, but I just stick to my diet. So I always tell people, if you come from another country, stick to your diet and you'll be fine. But yeah. So let me see what else. Okay, as we know, as the guinea pig of the universe. So, oh, it's 10:57. I had a video to play from, you know, back in the days, but I said it's open call today, so I wanted to do it that way. So it's 10:57. We're not going to go much longer this morning. So my question is, how many people will partake of that start fasting? I'm just curious.
I will.
Who's that? Okay.
Rochelle.
Okay. If you
Miss
don't want.
Novlet, I've made a pledge.
Mm-hmm.
I've made a pledge. Okay.
I will.
And I'm going to see
I
it
even
through to the
start now.
end.
Yeah.
I start now, right now.
Myself also. I
Honestly.
like to say before you close me, I don't know if you went over last time I participated. I asked the question because I got problem to do group order.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the name of the brother? He
Nick.
said he's gonna go. Nick gonna go over, but it look like I missed that day. So I don't
Tuesday.
know when you're gonna do so because I did it. I follow the tape and I still make mistakes. So
Will you be available on Tuesday?
definitely I will.
So that's when he goes over the back office. So I will let him know to do the group order.
He
So
knows, he knows because he was the one who invited me. He was Tuesday, definitely. Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
yeah,
My last thing is for the summer, if someone want to lose weight, I lost 40 pounds in for the
Mm.
summer. I
What?
walk 2 hours, an hour to go, an hour to go back. And then you eat light food. There is a plate divided in three. More vegetable and then little meat, especially eat fish. You'll be okay. For the summer, if you want to lose uh, weight for the summer, for 4 months, you can lose a bunch of weight. I did it and it worked for me.
yeah.
Mm.
The two major things, just like you mentioned, is that red meat is a killer and sugar.
Mhm.
If you cut back on red meat and watch your sugar intake, you'll be amazed. And when it comes to the sugar, they are putting sugar in everything. So you have to read the labels to look at the amount of sugar because sometimes you don't even taste it. I have not figured out how they cover up the taste of the sugar. But when you look on those labels and you're seeing it saying 20, 30, 40, and you're like, oh my gosh, why am I not tasting it? Even milk, if you drink regular milk, someone asked me to pick up milk for them and I went to pick it up and it says no sugar added. And I said to myself, why does it say no sugar? They add sugar. So we just have to read the labels because they're hiding sugar in everything, in pasta, in things you wouldn't expect it to be in. And sugar adds weight to the body. And red meat adds weight to the body. So if you start really, you don't have to cut out the red meat, just eat less of it. And the original food pyramid didn't have much beef, much red meat on there. But the new one, it has it on there, and we're seeing it as people start eating more and more red meat, beef, pork, their health is going down the toilet. So we just have to be vigilant, because at the end of the day, it's your health. And one thing I'm going to say, that gentleman that was talking about the fasting, if you look on him, he reflects what he talks about. So this is what I tell individuals. If you're going to your doctor and your doctor does not look like the picture of health, how can she do? A lot of these doctors are dropping like flies. So you also have to be mindful, because a lot of them are overweight, have a lot of health challenges, because they don't know what to do for themselves either. So if you find one that looks like a picture of health, he might be a good one for you to, but we have to pay attention to everything. But if they can't help themselves with their health issues, a gentleman said to me, my doctor looked like he was about to have a heart attack when I went to him the first time. He's there going, and he said to himself, he can't help me. You know, so we just have to really, truly pay attention. And we're here. God brought you to Atomy with all these wonderful products, and you add everything else to it, and you can get the results you want if you are truly, truly vigilant to make and willing to make that lifestyle change. Because gluttony is a problem in the US, and we're seeing it. We eat so much, and they're supersizing everything. You know, back in the days when I used to go to Golden Corral, I don't go there anymore. I haven't gone there in years. The first time we went, and they brought all those plates, I'm like, my God, why do we need this much plate? And we eat one plate and we're done. And the guy said, I don't think this is a place for you guys, because you're supposed to be eating. And I'm like, nope, that's not for me. They bring you plates up on, I have never seen anything like that. And people just keep eating. So we really have a serious gluttony problem here, because we eat so much food. Just incorporate more fruits and veggies, and you're going to see a difference. So that's it for me this morning. I don't know if anyone else has to say before we go. Someone's trying to say something. Yeah, go ahead, CJ.
It's not someone, CJ.
Huh?
You know this? I know you like the recipes.
I'm not understanding what you're saying. You're breaking up. You might have to type it in the chat, CJ.
I'm saying no. Are you hearing me?
Okay,
No.
let's try. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm saying this may not apply to most of us on the call this morning, but that Jamaican rice and peas.
Oh yeah.
I never knew now that they use to get that lovely taste in the rice and peas. I didn't know that they put sugar in the rice and peas.
No.
It's crazy.
Here.
I didn't know.
I don't.
I know you don't.
That's a new thing now.
When I go to the Jamaican restaurants and I inquire about the rice and peas, I'm learning that they put sugar just for to flavor it. I didn't know this. Oh yeah. So anyway,
well, I'm going to inquire at my Jamaican store, because if they tell me that, I'm not going back there. Because when I make mine, it tastes fabulous, and there's no sugar added. I just put a lot of coconut in there. They call it the coconut cream. You actually juice the hard coconut. We put that in, and we put, what makes it taste great is the amount of seasoning. A whole bunch of thyme and scallion and garlic, lots of that. And it brings out the flavor with the coconut. But I've never heard that where you add sugar to it. You see what I'm saying? They're experimenting, putting sugar in everything.
I'm
So
hearing that for the first time, you know.
Uh-huh.
I never knew about that.
I never heard that before.
it's just that you don't know. But the message really is this: that when we eat out, dine out, as they say, we expose ourselves to so much that we do not know.
Mhm.
That and by the way, that I know a lot of folks use the Maggi products for the chicken noodle and all that other thing.
This
If
stuff.
you should the content, that's 1,200 minimum um, sodium,
Sodium.
and that with all the monosodium glutamate. And the guy who is the manufacturer or the company is from Belgium, and they that Maggie thing is it's totally poisonous, 100%. Anyway, back to the issue of someone was asking about the group ordering. I spoke with Nick this morning, and so on Monday he will be available, and I've invited Nick so that we all know this morning that on Monday we'll spend a minute with Nick talking about doing some ordering stuff and how it is you, in lieu of not having a link to send to people, how we can easily uh, help folks to sign up and place orders. So Nick will be with us for a minute on Monday to let us all know. And finally, if we are going to be a true ambassador of wellness, if we're going to speak it, then let's practice it. And I would really encourage everyone, those of us who are crusaders, wellness crusaders, to at least once a week, every week, do a fast. It will do wonders to our health and wellness.
Thank you.
Well,
Let me tell
as
you.
I said
Yeah.
before, you know, I want to be forever young. So whatever it takes, since I'm going to be healthy, I'll go for it.
Mm-hmm. Listen, Mr. CJ, I already have my Jamaican restaurant that I buy food from. Because if I'm out, I go to the Jamaican restaurant to buy food. So I'll be calling them the moment I get off this call. I'm going to ask that question because if they tell me yes, I'm not going back there. So yeah, I've never heard of that. We don't cook with sugar in our food, so I'm shocked.
Yeah, let us just become a little bit aware, a little bit more conscious, a little bit more discerning when we go out to eat. We really expose ourselves to a lot of toxicity, and it's just be wise and just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yeah, Novelette,
Yes.
CJ is right, because if you look at a lot of the videos that they have on YouTube online, when they're cooking authentic Jamaican food, they're all putting sugar in it.
See, that's a no-no. This is why you shouldn't eat out much. Because I thought I was safe going to Jamaican restaurant. I mean, I probably buy something there, once a week, if that much, if I'm out. I try to eat before I go out, or I'll take some fruits with me or some nuts. And that's another thing we should do. If you take food with you, you won't have to buy the junk. So I try to take a lot of fruits with me when I'm going, or some nuts, so I don't have to buy food out. So yeah. I have my little lunch bag, that cooler that I take with me. All right, guys.
You know what is so amazing about that rice and peas now? But if just like we said this morning, or you said it, you don't taste the sugar, and I was really shocked because I'm eating rice and peas. I was shocked to discover that they can that sugar, and you don't is food, and you don't taste it.
Well, I'll be finding out. Oh, that's disheartening. But if you didn't make it, you don't know what's in it. So that's the point. All right, so everyone have a wonderful weekend. If we don't have any other comments, we can go. It's 11:10. Enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
Same to you guys.
Enjoy your
Okay.
weekend. Thank you so much.
Same to you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Blessed weekend.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.